Tracking a big pattern shift as we head into a time frame when we have a lot of travel going on. Thanksgiving holidays starting to roll around the corner. We've been in a dry stretch, but a long moisture stream gearing up in the Pacific, and our storm door is about to open. We'll make it through this week, Thanksgiving included, with dry weather throughout the region. In the valley, highs will stay in the 60s. We're still calling for morning lows in the 30s. For the foothills, we'll start off with morning lows in the 30s and 40s. Again, dry weather through Thanksgiving. Highs will stay in the 60s with variable clouds. For the mountains, including the Sierra, highs will stay in the 40s and even low 50s. Morning lows, though, have been dropping to right around 5 to 15 degrees. So it's cold in the morning to hit the slopes, but beautiful during the afternoon. And for the coast, highs will be in the 60s, although we have some variable clouds. Overall, dry conditions for Thanksgiving. We are starting to see that pattern shift, though, by the time we wrap up November, heading into the beginning of December, leaning cooler throughout the state and our wet weather pattern returning. We really had a nice start to November with several storms coming through. It boosted that snowpack, got us some nice coverage throughout the Sierra. As you can see, the northern Sierra at 67% of average, the central Sierra at 90, and the southern Sierra at 119% of average. But we have hit that dry spell here. Not terribly uncommon. We usually hit 2 weeks of rain and snow, then 2 weeks not, and that's kind of what we're doing right now. Here's a look at a year-to-year comparison, though. Look at where we were last year at this time. Even though we got that historic storm in October, we completely dried out in November. So last Thanksgiving wasn't the best skiing and snowboarding for the Sierra. That is not the case this year. You can see much better coverage here, especially through the central and southern Sierra, where we've had some really beneficial snowfall come through. So our coverage is looking much better. The depth perhaps not quite as good, but again, we've got decent coverage. We make it through Thanksgiving, as I mentioned, with dry conditions. Now, Saturday late in the day is when we start to see a little wave start to roll on through. That'll be in the South Bay area all the way along 101, heading south towards Los Angeles, not necessarily making it that far, but then that ripples through the state, giving us a chance of some snow showers on Saturday afternoon. That will stretch from the Tahoe Basin right along 395, heading into the central and southern Sierra once again. Not necessarily on the Grapevine. I'm not expecting anything of that way as far as our travel plans are concerned. But then that gives us the open door that we need to get everything going into next week. So we make it through much of our travel period, at least the heaviest travel period, with no weather situations going on. Next week, nice to see this gearing up here, and we get several waves coming through, which will replenish the snowpack, also get the rain going again throughout northern and central California, because we need that. Keep in mind, December, January, and February are our wettest months typically, so it's nice to see this getting going. As far as our regional forecast, you can see for the mountains here, we'll take it all the way through Saturday. Again, dry. Those morning lows, there we go, 20s for morning lows for the foothills for Thanksgiving Day, 67 degrees starting the day off in the 40s and 50s. And then for the coast, we'll start the morning off in the 40s. Highs will warm into the 60s. So that's the regional forecast as far as weather is concerned. Now, I cannot speak to how that's going to shape up, though, for our traffic. The worst overall in California is from 4 to 8 o'clock during this entire week. Now, when we break it down to some of the worst areas for travel, we look at San Francisco on I-80 West Wednesday from 4 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That is an 80% increase in normal traffic. For Los Angeles, if you're headed southbound on I-5, the worst time frame is going to be Wednesday from 5:30 to 7:30, a 144% increase in normal traffic. That's usually the time that we love to get that video of just all the red tail lights lining all the way through Los Angeles. So again, as we look at the 10-day forecast, really no weather impacts as far as our travel is concerned. We keep it dry right through the holiday weekend. It's next week that we start to open up that storm door and get that rain and snow going once again.